Hello, I like money.
What inspired you?
Money.
In this video, I am going to try and earn a paycheck of 1 trillion credits every single month. Yes, I'm going to try and make the Monopoly Man, Scrooge McDuck, and Smaug the Dragon look like absolute peasants compared to our great wealth. Before we dive in, I do need to say a special thank you to Stardock for sponsoring this video. Galactic Civilizations IV has just released their latest 3.0 update. If you'd like to try it out and buy your own copy of Galactic Civilizations IV and also support this channel, you can do so using our link down in the description below. Without any further ado, let's look at the civilization we'll be playing as today. The corporate sector of the Empire we'll be playing with today. They are ruled by a number of multi-planet corporations with traders amongst the galaxy's best. Our entire civilization's satisfaction and sense of self-worth is unsurprisingly correlated with the amount of credits in our coffers. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, for the Iridium people, currency is king. We're basically playing as ultra-capitalists, and that should go a long way towards today's goal of making the most money we possibly can. Our focus is on individualism, self-reliance, and personal freedom above all else. The freedom, of course, to make lots and lots of money and rely only on your own income. By decreasing our state spending on things like, healthcare, we can definitely have some ultra-rich elites. We're starting with traders, which grants us a freighter right out the gate and 3 trade licenses. This is going to be great for making additional money. Those freighters will create trade routes that will generate billions of credits in revenue. We're also already quite wealthy. We start with an additional 2,000 credits in the bank and the universal translated technology already unlocked. Our people have a high level of social, which will make them excellent traders. And our citizens then receive an approval bonus based on the number of credits we have in our treasury. So as you might have guessed, the corporate sector is going to be all about maximizing profits and minimizing losses. In order to find new markets, and of course new customers, we will have to push the boundaries of our borders and travel far outside our comfort zone. For that reason, I've taken the Explorer bonus, sinking 2 points into this, granting us +4 ship range and sensor range right out of the gate. Of course, being rich does help to make additional money. Money makes more money, ladies and gentlemen. And so we're going to sink a couple of points into getting +15% gross income. I'd also like to make sure our neighbors don't want to kill us straight away, so we are going to put on a false smile for as long as we possibly can. Of course, we prefer to settle disputes with the power of the mighty credit. The pen is mightier than the laser beam, apparently, and for that reason we're getting -15% planetary defense. We are a little bit craven, and definitely not intimidating whatsoever. When it comes to our victory, of course, I'm going to go for an economic victory, but that isn't actually one of the victories we have in the game. I'm turning off prestige and influence so the game can't end too early. I am leaving the time limit on. We have to get our cash out before the end of the next financial millennium, I guess. And of course, if someone conquers everybody or manages to form a grand galactic alliance, we'll allow that to be a win as well. If you'd like to follow along at home, these are the settings I'm using today. I don't think it's a game of Galactic Civilizations without having the Terran Alliance and the Drengen Empire. Otherwise, for our AI factions today, I've gone with the Drath Freehold, some dragon-like crazy people, the Kryn Syndicate, religious nutters basically, and the Altarian Republic. Allegedly empathetic, definitely open to exploitation. This is a broadcast from your local corporate sector representative. New markets await. We are apparently now the apex corporate entity of an ultra-capitalistic society, and the only organization capable of entering into contracts on behalf of the entire Iridium people. Our culture is based on a firm, even fanatical belief in the power of the free market. Free market, free market, free market. Neoliberalism at its finest. We finally won, ladies and gentlemen, and the world is perfect. Don't look at those poor people over there. They're doing great. Don't worry about it. Our first colony of Valus, just a stone's throw away from our capital of Iridia, has an absolute abundance of wealth. This is pushing our initial income up to a whopping +7 billion credits every single month. We're going to use our glut of, I assume, natural resources, aka cash, to rush some of the buildings on our capital. I put the capital colony down here. That's granting +2 levels to everything adjacent to it. Right next door, I'm whopping down a Xeno patent office. This is going to get a +3 bonus from the tile, 2 from the capital, giving us +5. But the Xeno patent office doesn't just boost research, it also boosts our gross income. Yes, this is going to boost our economy even further. We'll pay 300 billion credits for this, and I estimate a return on investment very, very soon. Because that's just boosted us now up to +15 every single time we end turn. Jumping over into our technology, I'd really like to pick up really late stage capitalism, which is going to be our first step to ensuring our currency is the galactic reserve currency. But space exploration plans is 50% off right now, and I can't say no to a bargain. Just outside of Iridian space, we've discovered an ancient recording device that appears to have been drifting for centuries. The technology is delicate but incredibly advanced. We're going to use these recordings to boost our individualism, make sure people know they have to work for a living, and make our world a center of influence. Your corporate overlords have just proclaimed the Great Expansion. This new policy is going to help, well, the corporation quite a lot, but don't worry, you have a place within the plan. Many would-be entrepreneurs on our homeworld are now going to sign up to leave, and we're going to compensate them a little bit for their setup costs and promise not to shoot them. We've also dropped our tax rate to a meager 23%. This has put its approval to a sky-high 66% and slightly increased our research output. Though income is currently down, we're trying to work out the link between tax rates and central bank and government spending. It's all a bit confusing right now. We've not been a government before, we've only actually been a corporation, so just bear with us while we work out the finer details. The year is 2307. The Galactic News Network has come out with the top 5 innovators of the cosmos list. Yes, it's the 5 under 5, and allegedly we're not a part of that. I then realized I don't know what the Galactic News Network is, and shut up, why are they on my Airstream, and have they paid their taxes? It looks like we found our very first customers in these 3-meter tall dragons. Probably they're no threat to us, and I'm sure they're going to be a great market for us. In any event, we have a freighter racing towards their borders to offer them goods and services. We're, of course, the premier power in the galaxy in terms of income, approval, and influence. Let's pay no attention to our manufacturing and research capacity, that's not a problem. Diving into the cultural progression of our great corporate nation, we've now unlocked private property rights. Ownership is not just respected, it is protected. This society values the individual right to accumulate and control property, which is the opposite of theft, goddammit. This unlocks the entrepreneur specialization, and that of course comes from the entrepreneurial region of France, otherwise it's just a sparkling businessman, and grants +1 orbital upgrade slot on every single planet. Back on our homeworld, we have built the Iridia Exchange. This civilizational achievement is going to improve the economy, and honestly, that's all we really care about, so I'm not going to say much more. This is, of course, a total triumph of the individual over the circumstances. Our self-reliance knows no bounds. Rugged individualism victorious, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to give all of our citizens +3 to all of their attributes, which will boost all of our different outputs. We built our very first mining starbase. You might notice just off to the side there, we do have some hostile threats lingering about. Don't worry though, I have built not only a starbase defense system, but also an advanced starbase defense system. More weapons, more pew-pew, more destruction. And you know what, let's also throw in some mining drones, because this is a very well strategically placed starbase. We're going to get Promethean, we're going to get Thulium and Durantium from one lovely little location. There is a wide gulf between freedom and control. But we here in the corporate sector like to think we can bridge the two with a speech that calls on both sides to forget their past and build a better future. The Altarians were having some issues with a religious sect, definitely not the Kryn, don't mention the Kryn, and we've bridged that gap with speech and the use of money, in the form of improved trade opportunities for both sides. Our citizens are celebrating, and everything's going to be great. As we now have quite a good overview of the shape of our galaxy, we are trading quite a bit with the Drath and also with the Altarians. The Altarians are sending in some lovely trade routes to us, and we now have a total of 14 licenses for our trade ships. We're only using 5, but those numbers are only rookie numbers. They are going to go up. Our Hall X's will blot out the sun. Sadly though, this is not yet enough to put us at the very top in terms of GDP. The Galactic News Network has just released a hit piece on the corporate sector claiming we are in 3rd. Our own statisticians say we are 2nd, but who really knows? The Drath Freehold and the Drengan Empire, well, they've definitely got it coming, even if they outclass us massively militarily, economically, politically, from a manufacturing perspective. Look, we'll be fine. In order to keep our competitive edge, the Great Expansion has been cancelled until further notice and replaced with a policy of laissez-faire economics. Our wealthy civilization will do better if we eliminate remaining social programs and regulation. This gives us plus 100% gross income. Yes, I know, gross, but does give us plus 10% crime. Luckily, we get plus 20% pollution. More pollution is more incentives for our companies to build pollution scrubbing things and reduce the overall impact of pollution. So this is actually a net benefit, you see. By increasing pollution, we're giving opportunities for contractors to come in and provide economic value to the rest of our civilization by removing that pollution. And this very thing has happened on Iridia, our capital, where a brand new air purifier has just been unveiled. You can buy your own premium air coming in bottles delivered regularly to your home.
Huh? Hey!
O'Hare Purified Air. Freshness to go. Please breathe responsibly.
And that does push us up to the number 1 in terms of GDP in the galaxy. It only costs 3% of the poor, but don't worry, we've cut them in half. As the colonial territories of the corporate sector flourish under the distant light of foreign suns, a confluence of cultural uniqueness and self-reliance fuels their desire for greater autonomy. Emanating from the far reaches of space, their voices now reach the halls of power on our homeworld. They've somehow bought their way in. Fervently, they implore for the right to govern their own destinies. I'm assuming they want legislative control over some of their own markets. This could be bad, but apparently if we grant them more autonomy, they're going to give us more money. So, yes, and that has put us up to plus 50 monthly income, ladies and gentlemen. Holy crap. Speaking of making great deals, oh wait, this is a terrible deal. No, I'm not trading all of this stuff. Go away, Terrans.
The art of the deal.
Let's just ignore the fact the Terrans tried to scam us then. They're not our closest trading partner. In fact, I don't actually think we've got any trade relations with them whatsoever. Let's change that. Let's go to their home planet of, checking my notes, dirt, and bring them just-in-time delivery services. Meveret Pol may have trained as a scientist, but thank goodness he was absolutely terrible at it. Now, he's our new Minister of Finance. This is reducing our maintenance costs by 16% across the entire corporate sector. Golly gosh, that is excellent. Bringing our income now to 55 billion mega credits every single turn. Adding in a policy of economic development has pushed us even higher now to 67. If I just boost the tax rate a little bit, yes, we're going to take a small hit to our research and manufacturing output, but at 32% tax, we're making now over 100 billion credits every single time we collect our tax revenues. Who knew it was so profitable to run a country like a corporation? By the way, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to buy that like button. The year is 2313. Head office would like to inform all of you lovely investors we've now used up 11 of our 14 trade licenses, generating a total trade income of 98 billion credits. This is equal to about 25% of our total GDP for the nation. And if I threw in free trade, it would get even higher. You know what? Why don't we do that? That is going to reduce our manufacturing a little bit, but increase our trade rate income now to 120. God bless embargoes, subsidies, and taxes. May the devil curse embargoes, subsidies and taxes, for they are the great enemy of economic growth that we must crush and destroy. Only a moron would embargo their closest trading partners. I've saved up so much cash, we're making 144 per month now, that I can actually buy a galactic achievement, a wonder, outright. Razar's lift is not the best, but it's pretty darn good, and by clicking this button, we've slightly improved our manufacturing on the capital at the cost of like 5.5 trillion credits. I think this is an absolute win. Being the richest in the galaxy does also mean that we are at the forefront of cutting-edge research on all things financial. Preferred lending has just been unlocked. All forms of trade are made much easier if credit is involved. This greatly reduces the friction in submitting and receiving payments. And yes, we've invented galactic credit cards, ladies and gentlemen. But credit, of course, requires trust. And to do that with aliens requires a lot of care. They're pretty weird. We have come up with some very special systems to manage it. There's also this idea of a wealth tax being bandied around. I'm not going to do that. That sounds evil and wrong, because of course I might end up taxing myself. And as a member of the board of the corporate sector, I don't think I should have to pay tax. Unfortunately for the profit margins of the corporate sector, it looks like the Altarians and the Drengin are currently at war. Not only are the Drengin at war with the Altarian, in fact they're also at war with the Drath, which does make the Drengin the most hostile race in the galaxy. Thankfully, we have buttered them up with lots of juicy juices and other such health and fitness products that I'm sure they're putting to good use and not blending slaves in. Needless to say, this minor setback hasn't stopped us though. After much effort and toil, our markets are now a bazaar of alien baubles, strange delicacies, and fascinating glimpses into the cultures of other worlds. Other planets are eager for our goods as well, and our traders now make vast fortunes selling these to them. We have increases to culture points, increases to our gross income, influence growth, lots and lots of great things, putting us to 183 billion credits every single month. Oh, goodness me, it's great. Holy crap. We've now hit 250 billion credits every single month as income. That's a lot. We can basically buy out a fleet if we need it very, very soon, as long as I maybe save up, I don't know, 10 trillion credits. Given that the Altarians are going to die soon, it shouldn't be too much of an issue if we allow them to pierce the corporate veil and get access to some of our unique branded technologies like profit portals, trade networks, interstellar currency, and so weiter. For this, we want some very good weapons technology. Hopefully it'll be enough to stop the Drengin or the Drath or whoever it is that's going to come and kill us soon. It seems even the Altarians now know that they are doomed. They've reached out with an absolutely ridiculous plea where they'd like us to declare war on one of our great and valued trading partners, the Drengin Empire. Of course, we've told them we are absolutely filthy neutrals in this conflict, and therefore we just simply cannot declare war on them at this time. We'll circle back to this though at our next quarterly meeting. Apparently, my relentless pursuit of profit is going to bring about the end of the universe as we know it. This sounds like utter nonsense. My forecasts project infinite growth forever, so how could the universe end? Yes, I think we're skeptical of the Thalans. That does now put us in number 7 for military might behind this new upstart. Where are they? They're over here in the south of the galaxy. They don't have much except battleships. Oh, good God, they've got battleships already. They don't want to talk to us. They just really hate us. Back home on Iridia, we've just unveiled a brand new achievement for our entire civilization. The Orbital Embassy is a welcome place for diplomats of all species, mainly ours though, of course, and here we can show what great hospitality we have, if even at arm's length. Yes, we don't want anyone to touch us and our greatness, we just want to show them how great we are. This should hold off any wars, except for, of course, the Thalans who are at war with us.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Well, turns out the Drengin are going to kill us now. That's bad. The Terrans are giving us some credits. That's good. We're going to have to rush produce a fleet. Unfortunately, I don't quite have the cash right now. But we are, of course, making 250 billion credits every single month, so we should get the cash relatively quickly. That, of course, has hurt our bottom line, though. We no longer are making 250 billion credits a month because we've lost all of those trade routes with the Drengen. Our first defense fleet of cruisers has formed just around Iridia. Near that, we have the Iridi Starbase number 2, which is a military starbase, and equipped with the finest in defense bonuses for everyone nearby, thanks to the fortification module. I think I should probably also grab a Xalon defense system, though that is very expensive in terms of maintenance and Durantium cost. The year is 2318. It seems at long last, we've reached the end of our cultural progression into individualism, with the new idea of sovereign identity. Above all, our civilization values its unique identity and independence, standing firm in the face of external influences that might imply money's worth less than everything. This grants us plus 25% resistance against foreign influence. All of our citizens get a 25% increase to all of their stats, and we unlock the individual divinity technology. Individual divinity would give all of our citizens +1 intelligence, diligence, social skills, and resolve. And I think it would do it every single month. No, is that correct? That would be insanely powerful. It looks like the Drengen aren't really coming very close to us. They may be at war with us, but they're not hitting us in the face. Let's set up a galactic stock exchange on our capital, right next to the central bank, the trade network, the Iridia exchange, and the galactic currency reserve. Yes, welcome to intergalactic Wall Street, ladies and gentlemen. I also really want to fit down this galactic bazaar somewhere, but I'm not quite sure where we can place it. That will give us a bonus to trade route value for our entire civilization. For a moment, I was worried that this was a Drengen fleet equipped with transports and state-of-the-art weaponry, because this combat rating of 67 is actually really, really high. For context, our most powerful fleet only has a combat rating of 31. Not great. But luckily, this belongs to the draft. I'm hopeful they might fly through our space. If they do, I can impress this foreign fleet. I'll get -3 diplomacy rating with the draft, but on the flip side of this, I get to take control of the fleet entirely. Would you look at this? The hairless apes are so soft and stupid, they're giving us their own ships to fight against the Drengen. I mean, we won't say no to free ships, but oh my goodness me, what is wrong with these people? God darn it, the Drath Freehold have beaten us to the puncher and built a galactic achievement, the Spice Market, meaning we can no longer build that awesome temple to capitalism. We can still build the financial capital and the galactic stock exchange, though we do need to hurry on this stock exchange. In fact, let's finish it right now. I've got 4 trillion credits in the bank. That's how much it will cost to pay contractors to cut corners and finish this building immediately. Definitely not bribing the inspectors to just declare it open. And there we have it, even more wealth. 127 income on just a single world. That's 400 gross. After taxes at 32%, we get 127.52. Beautiful. I'm also only just noticing if we place a leader on the command ship Stellar Resort, we'll get plus 20% income to the planet this ship is orbiting. So if I slap that onto my capital, yes, our income does go up even further. We're now at 132. Oh, I love it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the year is 2320. The Drengen have come crawling to the table finally. They're going to be paying us to accept a ceasefire, and you know what? I can never say no to a good payment. I'll take your money, thank you very much. We've also got bucket loads of political capital, no thanks to our lovely diplomats providing lots of that for us and some of the technologies we've researched. I'm going to use this to get some tech from those nations that are slightly ahead of us. We don't even have to offer very much political capital to get basically the entire catalog. Excellent. And of course, as I'm a player, I can just say no thanks to all of that political capital if they try to use it to purchase anything from me. Following our ceasefire, the Drengen have been pushed back to just their capital system. Drengi itself, their homeworld, is currently being invaded. If that falls, their last core world, I think the Drengen Empire will be extinct. Whoa, and we're now hitting over 300 billion credits every single month. I am so proud, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank our previous CEO. I'd like to thank our current leadership team, and most of all, I'd like to thank our workers for contributing 150 billion% of their souls. On our second core world, Nantu, some time ago, there was something going wrong. We approved an experimental cure to the thing that was going wrong. Apparently, this experimental drug has had a drastic side effect: boosted cognitive abilities, a massive increase in intelligence, though some people are turning into psychopaths. We can use these new intelligent people to plan our next economic moves in the market. This is going to help. This is going to be good. I think we'll switch almost everybody over here to be working as scientists because they're going to be so much better at it than working regular jobs. Now, we love our friends and customers, the Drath Freehold. They are excellent. However, they have committed the one faux pas that our civilization simply cannot abide by. They have become poor. They're now asking us to give them a handout. These filthy aliens. Absolutely not. The corporate sector will not be giving out handouts. We'd be happy to open a line of credit again for them, but not a handout. Let's send a couple of Hall X's with some goods that they can legitimately buy. I'm sure that will help them a lot more to feel better about themselves. Around our capital, we've built not just one starbase, but 2 economic starbases filled with the latest in trading hubs, trade centers, trade stations, marketplaces, shopping centers, promenades, and franchise centers. There's also some cultural exchange nonsense going on, and some factories and laboratory stuff. But overall, the main bonus here is we're getting a whopping plus 30% to trade route value from our trade modules, and plus 35% to gross income, which is stacked twice here, giving us an income of over 200. That's our income after tax on this capital. I'm going to roll out the Galactic Bazaar now. Rushing this is going to cost that's 11 trillion credits. Yes, we're going to spend 11 trillion credits because each credit is actually 1 billion credits. So 11,000 billion credits is 11 trillion. Oh my goodness me, I've never spent this much money in one go before, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it a good old click. Boom, and we're now making 432. I'm going to end turn, I think, to confirm that. Or rather, before I do, give me a second. Let's build one more economic starbase, fill it up with all of the important, we need some Promethean, all of the important modules, buy a bit of Promethean, because these multiple starbases do stack, of course. Here are the starbases, each adding 35% additional income. We are so close to making 1 trillion credits every single month. We're at 450. We funneled all of that additional money into research, and we've unlocked individual divinity. Our individualism has taken us to the point where each person within our empire can assume godhood. All praise the corporate sector. As long as they keep up their monthly subscription payments, they're going to get an increase to their spiritual, mental, and physical well-being. The people will grow stronger, wiser, and more attuned to the cosmos. Definitely not some sort of superior Iron Man technology going on here, it's just great. Sign up today. Of course, if you can't afford it, we do offer a light version that doesn't quite give you the same boost, but it's still good anyway. We now have, of course, 3 of these economic starbases around our capital, but that's not all. We also have a culture starbase, which is fully tooled out and giving us lots of additional influence growth, plus 75%, and a military starbase that will help any ships defend the capital should it be necessary. You know what, let's give it a support field and an exploration support system just to give this starbase further range on its weapon and defensive upgrades. That means our capital is now making 250 influence and 237 cash. Our policies of free trade, economic development, and laissez-faire economics, alongside our Heart of Empire, are going a long way to boost our output. Ooh, we could also use some genetic manipulation to make our citizens more intelligent, but are more intelligent citizens more economically productive? I'm not sure. The year is 2326, our GDP is now astronomical. We're making 500 billion credits every single month in tax revenues. I could reduce our tax rate, or instead we could increase it and make even more money. 666 credits. Yes, let's set a 40% tax rate. Welcome, great citizens. Enjoy your time here. The corporate sector knows how to treat you right. Maybe I should increase the tax rate a little bit further. We're so close to making 1 trillion credits every single month. About 1/3 of this income is from our trade routes alone, the other half from our planets. The capital and the trade routes together making up 66% of our economic value here. And if we could get rid of all of our star bases, colonies, and ships, but keep the bonuses, or somehow reduce our maintenance, we'd be almost at 1 trillion credits already. Maybe what we need to do is unregulate the corporations and put in a wealth tax. That could be what is necessary. Oh, the Kryn have now declared war on us. That's possibly bad. Do they exist? Not for very much longer. They're about to be subsumed, it looks like, by the Terrans. No! They're subsuming the Terrans. Oh, this is very bad. This is very bad indeed. The Kryn's culture is starting to overtake the galaxy. Yeah, they're making 700 culture here on their capital. Oh, we need to do something about that, because we're only making 250. Let's equip our best battleships and send them into battle. Even the draft are feeling the squeeze of the new cultural behemoth. Mars has fallen. 21% rebellion on Earth. This could be the end of the Galactic Order as we know it. I need to rush now to try and get to my goal of making 1 trillion credits every single month before the cultural wave envelops us. Perhaps if I build some more culture star bases, I can hold it off a bit longer, but I really don't know if this tide can be turned. Annoyingly, it seems like the Terrans are more on the side of the Kryn, who are taking their planets from them, than we are. They have been well and truly indoctrinated. Bradley has absolutely no idea what he's doing at the helm anymore. Look at that glassy-eyed expression. He's just high on Kryn propaganda.
Gentlemen! There's a solution here you're not seeing.
So we didn't have a solution, but now we actually do have a solution to this problem. And the first thing I'm going to do is note that we're at 0.8 trillion credits of income every single month. Let's use one of the new abilities from 3.0, the Civilization Focus, to get us over that edge and complete the final hurdle to achieve our goal. With the new Civilization Focus, I can get a bonus of 25% to my research, military, engineering, population growth, or finally, the one that I really care about here, economic gross income. A simple click of this button, and it puts us ever so close to that final goal. I'm just going to slide the tax rate up marginally there to 43%. We're still at 70% approval, so I think that's fine. And ladies and gentlemen, we're now making 1 trillion credits every single month. And with that, I'm going to take my CEO bonus and get the hell out of this empire before it crumbles to the honestly devastating cultural onslaught the Kryn are putting out. That is some seriously healthy economic power. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to pick up Galactic Civilizations IV and also help to support this channel, you can do so using our link down in the description below. And if you'd like to see me complete more challenges in Galactic Civilizations IV, you might want to watch the video on screen now.